Testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Just kidding. You know, today is December 31st, 2023. That's a pretty cool date. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. More than some cool numbers, I think it is a great way to remind us how to end the year strong and how to start the next year strong. So I think a lot of times people think, you know, leaving one year and going to the next year, it's going to be better just because it's the next year. But that's not always true. You know, the way you leave one room is the way you enter the next room. The way you leave one year is how you enter the next year. And so today I want to challenge us that we make sure we leave this year in the best way possible so we can enter into the next year, which is tomorrow, the best way we can in a healthy way. So I want to challenge us being intentional with the last day of the year, but also starting the year off in a very healthy way. I want to challenge us with just 3 things. 1, 2, 3. Number 1, I think we should reflect on the year, on the journey. And number 2, I think we should ask God to help us to learn from that, to open ourselves up to Him so that He can search us. And then number 3, that we would commit the next year to Him, commit 2024 to Him. So let's talk about these 3 things. Number 1, reflect. You know, as we end this year, I think we should look back in the year and remember what we've learned. Before we look forward, let's look backwards and see the lessons that maybe we should have learned. They say that experience is the best teacher, but that is not true. Evaluated experience is the best teacher. And what we need to do is evaluate all the experiences we had for this last year, or there's a good chance that we'll just repeat that same experience over and over without learning a lesson. I mean, a lot of people who do that. They face the same thing over and over because they don't take the time to evaluate and ask the question, what was I supposed to learn in this? So maybe one of the ways we can reflect is asking a few questions like, what is your greatest lesson that you learned in 2023? It might be important to write this down. You write these answers down. Maybe engage with somebody else, ask them these questions, tell them your answers, think about them. It's a good way to end the year, just reflecting. Maybe you can answer the question, what would you change if you could last year? Who showed up for you, and have you thanked them yet? What other ones could we ask? So what are you most proud of? Maybe what's your biggest regret? Or maybe something you were maybe disappointed in. What's the greatest thing you received this last year? You know, I love how Moses tells the people of Israel in Deuteronomy 8:2. He says, remember how the Lord your God led you through the wilderness for those 40 years, humbling you and testing you to prove your character and to find out whether or not you would obey His commands. So Moses is saying, hey, before we enter this next season, let's reflect on the season we've been in. God has rescued us. He's done some great things for us. But when we go to this next season, let's not forget those lessons. Let's not forget what has taken place so we can go into the next season better. And we can remember those lessons and they will make us better. So it's a part of reflecting. Number 2, let's ask God to search us, to open our lives to Him. I love how the psalmist writes in Psalms 139. He says, search me, O God, and know my heart. See if there is any offensive way in me and lead me in the way everlasting. And this is a prayer we should probably actually add to our daily prayers. Maybe at night when we reflect on the day, right? We reflect and say, man, what was right? What was wrong? What could I have done better? But then ask this question, God, search me. Is there anything I did that I need to be aware of? This last year, are there things in my life that I'm holding on to that I need to let go of? Is there unforgiveness? Is there some bitterness? Is there anger? Is there anything that's unhealthy in my life? Search me and show me. So I want to end in a way that I can be forgiven, that I can move into freedom into this next year. Really important that we ask God to search us. And the third thing is that we will commit the next year to Him. I love that Moses in Deuteronomy, he continues on, and later on and towards the end of that book, he's challenging the people of Israel. He says, you know, every single day, really, he says there's blessings or there's curses, there's life or there's death. We get to choose. And he's challenging the people of Israel as they move into the land of freedom. They're leaving the land of slavery. They're moving to the land of freedom. He's saying, choose this day life. Make sure you do this. And he says in Deuteronomy 30:20, he says, you can make this choice by loving the Lord your God, by obeying Him, and committing yourselves firmly to Him. And then also he says, this is the key to your life, or He is the key to your life. So what is he saying? Do these things so you may choose life and you may love the Lord your God, listen to His voice, hold fast to Him, right? For this is the Lord is your life. What is he saying? Number 1, he's saying prioritize, love God, put Him first, put the most important things first. Number 2, listen. You can only obey if you know what He's asking you to do. So listen to God's voice. And then 3, commit. make your decision now, right? The best decisions we make are decisions that we pre-decided to make. The worst decisions we make are made out of emotions. They're made out of what we feel, the things that we haven't decided or things that we didn't follow through with. So when we pre-decide and we're prepared, we make better choices. Making a plan now on how we're going to walk out the different goals and the different things that we're trying to accomplish this next year that we can work on. And then recruit others to be part of this process, right, to help us on it. So being intentional really is three things. It's prioritizing, right? What things can you work on that would make the biggest difference in your life? Each day, each week, each month, right? Work through these, think through these. I think that part of that process of ending this year is reflecting, but then asking the next questions for next year is, what can I work on? How can I prioritize better? And then number two is, man, you get a word from God. You get a word that you can stand on, that you can hold on to, that you can trust, even when it's difficult. If it's financial, find a promise in God's word that challenges you with finances. If it's relationships, find a promise you can hold on about forgiveness and healing and health. Whatever it is, that you would find a word from God, a word that would challenge you and a word you can hold on to. And third, make sure you commit all your ways to God. Proverbs 16:3 says, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. If you want 2024 to be the best year ever, man, do these things. Prioritize, right? Search for God, listen to him, what he has for you to do, and then just commit. Say, I'm doing this. I'm going all in. That's how we make 2024 the best year ever. If maybe you're looking for a promise or a verse, there's some different websites you can go to. I'll put a link here on the bottom here, but the promise box is called onbibles.com/promise box. You click on it and it just pops up a random verse that you can maybe use as maybe one of those promises that you need for the day, for the week, or maybe even for the year. I would just say, seek God and ask him, God, help me to find the right verse that I can hold on to, that I can be, that'll make me better, that I can trust more this next year. And then as we end this year, I just say, man, end healthy so you can start healthy. Stop doing things that don't work and then start doing the things that do work. Choose life, right? Choose the things that God has for you. As we end this year, one of the greatest ways is to look back and thank God for things that he's done for you, the lessons you're supposed to learn, and then to begin to prepare. And then I'll just challenge you for this next season. Every January, we always challenge our church to do prayer and fasting. And so we do a 21-day of prayer and fasting challenge that we do every January. That's going to start January 7th, and it's going to go through the January 28th. And I would love for you to join us on this journey. In fact, this Wednesday, for our first Wednesday, we'll have worship and communion and a teaching on fasting. So if you never heard about it, don't know much about it, that'd be a great way to come and learn what it means to fast. And I would just say this next week, if you are going to be fasting, begin to prepare yourself. Maybe cut out a little more sugars than you normally do so that you don't have such bad headaches when you do cut out the different foods that you cut out or whatever it is you're going to cut out. Start tapering now so that it'll be a little more enjoyable and you can do better in the fasting season. And so that'll be starting next Sunday. And then also January 7th, that Sunday that we start 21 Days of Prayer and Fasting, we're going to start a brand new series. I think it's going to be a series that I believe will help you have the best year yet. And I hope you and your family will make it out to theGrove to come and join us for this new series that we'll be starting. And I would just say, give us a year. Let 2024 be a year that you go all in, that you commit, that you say yes, that you show up. You make Sundays a priority, that you make Bible study and prayer a priority, that you make small groups a priority, and that you make God a priority. I just challenge you, 2024, let it be a year that you're just saying, God, I'm going all in. I say yes to whatever you're asking me to do. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And if we keep doing 1, 2, 3 throughout the year, it's a few small choices that we make that make the biggest difference. And so as we start 2024, I just want to challenge you and encourage you, let it be the best year ever. By making a few decisions consistently and constantly. All right. You guys have a great rest of your day. Happy New Year to all of you. Look forward to seeing you for our first Wednesday and seeing you next Sunday for the very first Sunday of 2024. It's going to be a great year. God bless you guys. Peace.